And the next video is now, because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to Cheap Pops. Coming up in today's episode, AJ Lee may or may not be returning to the WWE. We got a major injury to a SmackDown superstar. Might even be the end of his career, we don't know. And there's a new website, but it's not what you think it is. I don't know why I did the finger. It's time for your favorite segment. It's time for my favorite segment. It's time for everybody's favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cheap Pops.
What does everybody want? What does everybody need?
Oh, another cheap pop.
What does everybody love?
Well, that cheap pop is there for the taking.
But we can start off with AJ Lee. You can tell it was a slow news week. I guess this all sprung from a fan question with Peter Rosenberg, and it was via his Cheap Heat podcast. I guess he was asked about WWE's interest in bringing back AJ Lee. You know, AJ Lee, the wife to CM Punk, the multi-time champion, the woman who was able to be in a storyline so captivating that it made it to the main event of multiple Monday Night Raws, where she was the last person you saw in the ring, standing tall, who didn't leave on any kind of ill will on her. Like, there was no scandals or anything. Oh, and she's considered one of the top name divas, top women's wrestlers. So you may be surprised that WWE is interested in bringing her back. Or maybe you're not. The way I set it up, it should be no surprise that they're bringing her back.
Well, they've been asking
surprise
about
is-
it since Punk came back.
Yeah, and they've even asked Punk multiple times. And he said, it's up to her. And because of that, I actually don't think she's even coming back. Because she's had multiple opportunities. It sounds like easily the ball's in her court. And she hasn't jumped on it yet. So it doesn't sound like she wants to come back. So maybe it's just like fans holding on to a fantasy.
I don't know. They might throw a number at her that she can't resist. But, like, what is she going to do, though?
Oh, you think it's a money thing?
No, I'm just saying that they might throw a number at her later that it's like, fuck it. You can't say no to that.
Well, I see, really, there's only two things. Either one, she appears at the Royal Rumble, and then I guess the big thing would be a match with Roxanne Perez from NXT. Those are the only two things I can think of her being around for. Now,
Okay.
Roxanne Perez, she's had a couple moments on TV with CM Punk, so everybody,
You fucking my man?
Well-
Yeah, I'm fucking your man.
she disrespects him, and
Oh.
he can't do anything because, well, he could, but he can't. And Roxanne said that's like one of her dream matches is to go against AJ Lee. I think she would have already done it if she was going to do it. Now, I know there's a never say never aspect of wrestling, but if she didn't come out of the woodwork for the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud, she might just be set. But yeah, if WWE backs up the Brinks truck, that might get her out of retirement.
She seems to be content.
Yeah, she's writing books and doing whatever else she's doing.
For TV shows.
Yeah. So she might be moved on from it.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Let us know in the comments what you think on that. And we move on to... I got this in here because it was just funny. So RVD, that being Rod Van Dam, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, announced that he has a new website. The website is called Only Wrestlers. Of course, this pissed off a lot of people because
Okay.
of the name Only Wrestlers. But I just want to say that I did some deep dive journalism, and this is not what you think it is. This is actually, it's like his indie wrestling promotion. And the website is like, so you can follow the talent to know where they're appearing next. Now, everything's behind a paywall, so I couldn't do too much with it. But yeah, you can see where the talent are appearing. Apparently, they're going to be putting on some shows on that website. So it is not what you think it is, because a lot of people obviously jump to, oh, so this is OnlyFans, but wrestlers only, which is a brilliant idea.
It would have been funny if it was wrestling feet pictures.
It would have been. Going back to that weirdo.
This just in, Rob Van Dam has a new site where it's just women's wrestling feet pictures. It's weird. It says it's under maintenance though because its main source was taken down.
He's got to recruit new talent.
Yeah, his distributor lost a shipment.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny that everybody jumped to the conclusion that this was a prawn site. And then Rob Van Dam just somehow was able to sign all these talents.
Who's the biggest one he has?
I guess it would be him.
So does he really have talent?
Well, again, this is all behind a paywall, so I couldn't get too in depth. Well, it's not a paywall. Everything's like blocked out, so you have to sign up for the site and subscribe or something like that. What they said is free for now, but that's still a tall ask. Like, you want to get emails now? No.
Oh, that's why I use fake emails.
Oh, that's
especially if it's a site I know I'm never going to go to again.
I tried that, but it's too much to keep up with. Like, there's this little trick with Gmail. You put plus something, and then it automatically sends it to a fake email. Like, you sign up with your email plus something, and then, yeah. It's still too much of a tall ask to ask me to sign up and subscribe. But yes, I did some journalism for you guys. If you want to sign up, again, it is onlywrestlers.com if you want to sign up and follow along with whatever that is. And then our last news, we go over to AJ Styles. So remember a couple weeks back, AJ Styles had that injury where people didn't know if it was storyline or real.
It's because he did both.
Yes, it was a storyline and then
an actual injury.
Yes. So he responded to a person on Twitter, X, and he dug a little bit deeper into his injury. And a quote from AJ Styles, it's called a Lisfranc. It's called a Lisfranc injury. Look it up. It sucks. I thought when I took off my boot, I would have a bone sticking out of my foot. He further acknowledged the severity of the situation by responding to a fan who said Cam Newton's 2016 season-ending injury was that injury, a Lisfranc injury. So it took Cam Newton out for the season. And he says, bingo, as the kids say, I'm cooked. That's not funny. It's funny.
It's funny how he's taking it.
Yes. So we don't have like a definite time frame on when he'll be back, but definitely sounds like it's a lengthy recovery for him.
He's definitely out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, if Cam Newton hadn't, it was out for the season. You know, football season is 16 weeks back then. So that's at least 16 weeks worth of recovery. And then you don't know if he would go past that.
Right.
Let's see. Let's do a little Google.
And keep in mind that AJ Styles is a lot older than Cam Newton was.
Yes. And he's not a genetic freak like Cam Newton was.
No.
So,
he might be. Who knows?
Well, he is a genetic freak, but, you know, Cam Newton, we'll just stick with the younger parts. Let's see. So 6 to 12 weeks to recover, 4 to 8 weeks to bear weights, and then physical. So basically, it could take up to a year for him to get back. 1 whole year. Now, I did see that also to note that he was in a storyline that was going to involve him retiring. I guess more serious than the Mark Henry thing he did. But to be honest, you know, he is up there in age. This actually might be his like send off.
It might be.
He comes back as probably part-time or something.
Kind of a shame if that's the case.
Yeah, went off on Mello.
Right. I'm not the biggest AJ Styles fan, but he deserved better. I know he was a TNA legend for what that's worth.
Yeah, he was TNA for a long time there.
Yeah, I think him and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Samoa Joe.
That's where the Motor City Machine Guns came from, too.
Yeah, so they were a revolving door on TNA there. Yeah, they were the face of the promotion. Like, that was the one person I knew about TNA, is AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. This was before Angle went there.
I never heard about TNA until Angle went there.
What got me to like actually know about it was when Hogan went there.
Yeah, that was way after.
Yeah, and then they had this bright idea that they were going to compete against Monday Night Raw and make Mondays, and then it killed the promotion.
That, and they took away the 6-side ring, and then they basically turned it into WCW because they did what everybody else does. They hire ex-WWE people.
Oh, yeah, and they had the main event Mafia. Now, they did bring in the talent, but it seemed like the talent was just there because everybody had like white hair and weren't trying.
Well, I think that was a product of the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're low budget and low rent and you act that way, then your staff's going to act that way too.
Yeah. It seems like, yeah, they were just taking their paycheck and they were kind of cocky about the whole thing. Just from the outside looking in. Like, yeah, we're going to succeed because I'm Hogan. I'm Vince Russo, who also made it there. I'm Kevin Nash.
Twice.
Full white hair.
Vince Russo was fired and then he came back.
See? But on that note, bad news for AJ Styles. Let us know what you think in the comments on that. And if you don't have anything to put in the comments, just put the prayer emojis because I'm sure AJ Styles needs those. Our channel.